There we go. Let's give everybody a minute to cruise in here. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar here. We are currently recording, so if you miss anything, we will send this out and you can catch it. If you can go ahead and just leave yourself muted, I think Jacob is going to go through a quick demo of the latest and greatest things in RepCo. Maybe just a quick intro for anybody that has arrived that doesn't know first who we are, what RepCo is. My name is Nate Fisher. I am one of the partners both here as well as at Local Viking, local brand manager, and a couple of other softwares in the marketing space. RepCo is a review generation suite. So review management, review generation kind of helps you get reviews on autopilot for you or your clients. I am joined by one of our partners, Jacob Kettner, agency owner and Power RepCo user, as well as Power RepCo partner. Today, I think Jacob is just going to go through a quick demo of some of the features and functionality, and particularly one important change coming through the industry that you should definitely know about. And then maybe once we get through that, if anybody has any questions, we will stick around and get those answered for you. But without further ado, Jacob, if you want to hop in.
Awesome. Thanks, Nate. Is my screen still shared?
I think yes, so. It is.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do actually, I'm just going to take like 3 minutes and just do like a quick run through the platform, because I'm not sure if everyone here is an existing user or not. If you want an more in-depth full platform run through, we do them every Wednesday at I think 3 o'clock Central. But I'll just do like a very quick overview, and then we'll go into the new features that we've rolled out over the last couple of months, and the big change that's happening with SMS and campaign registration. So basically, this is RepCo. The majority of functionality exists within the business level. So if you select a business, once the business is added, the locations live here. You can have multiple locations. Each location, you'd select one or many platforms that you want to generate reviews on. The campaigns are where we set up review sendings. So they consist of a campaign feedback page, which has a custom form builder. We can ask questions that we want to find out about user experience based on the number of stars that they leave. We can then choose whether to send them to a positive page where we then ask them for public reviews, or a negative page where we don't ask them for public reviews. Messages can be configured via SMS, text message, or email through this campaign builder. Can see in queue, you can add contacts through CSV uploads, Zapier automations, single submission contact form here, or they can scan in a QR code or go through an embed widget on the website. There's a few settings here, time of day for sending and whatnot. Feedback is where all of that internal feedback goes from that internal feedback page. Reviews is where all of the live reviews from the platforms that you're using get pulled in. The review widget has actually developed a fair bit since our last webinar, so I'll probably take a little bit more time to talk about that. But basically, it's where isn't that ugly? There we go. Where you can embed on the website recent reviews that'll pop up in the corner, or are structured in different formats. Reports, you can set up automated reports that show number of reviews or feedbacks in the last period of time, and they can automatically be emailed out to clients. And then branding settings exist here, where you want emails to come from, what phone numbers, etc. And then on the agency side, in here, is where you can add white label brands. So, you could add a brand like oilport.net, we added as like a test brand, and basically people can engage with that brand as white label, sign up, pay, just needs a Stripe integration, and basically, sell your own SaaS. So hopefully that stayed under 3 minutes, wasn't too much of a waste of time for those of you that are already using the platform. Just wanted to do a quick overview there. As far as, sorry, I just need this on the other screen. As far as new features are concerned, probably the biggest and most important is our integration with the Campaign Registry or Trust Hub. And basically what's happening is that the 3 or 4 largest mobile network providers in the United States have put together what's called the Campaign Registry, and they're requiring that businesses sending SMS messages to clients must be registered with this registry, or else they're not going to deliver the SMS messages to their clients. And it's a substantial, most of the clients in the US. So if you or your clients are sending messages to US clients, really the business needs to be registered. And at the moment, currently this is only applied to local numbers. So right now we're sending, if you haven't registered, we're sending through toll-free numbers. And it's a workaround for now, but probably won't be forever. And you also get better deliverability rates once registered. So I would recommend going in and registering. We've integrated the whole process through RepCo, and your clients can do it through your white label brands by going to the branding section, and basically you go apply for verification. And it's a fairly simple verification form. You just need email, name, contact phone number, business ISO code, which you can get by looking up this link here. And then, so give country codes. And then where the business is, basically, we start the verification process. And once we get response back from the Campaign Registry, I believe, Nate, is there more information required once the verification starts, or is this everything?
No, this is everything. But one thing to point out is that this is available on each business level that you have in RepCo. So if you're an agency and you're working with 5 or 10 different businesses, for each business, you would need to come in here and put information specific to that business, because what this is registering the company that's actually sending the text messages, not the agency that's sending on behalf of the company. So that is pretty important to put the proper contact details into here. But yeah, once you fill out this form, it's a 48-hour to 3-day process, and you will be approved. You will be able to be whitelisted to send messages. And that doesn't mean that you can start spamming or sending messages that are extra spammy. This is just registering to send non-spammy text messages, essentially.
Yeah, and then once you register, then you can pick up a local number and send from your own dedicated number that's not shared among other companies, which is kind of nice. The other thing that I wanted to go through is we've updated the DNS settings page for white label brands. So basically, it's simpler to use now. When you add a brand,
if you go back and click into any brand, it should take you to that next page.
Yeah, so once a brand is added,
Yep.
Basically everything exists here on this same page. You used to have to go back out and go change things in 2 different places. But all of the instructions for white label DNS records are here, and the status as to whether it's valid or not. So if we look at one that's actually configured, it's all green and ready to use. So bit of an easier process there.
And just a commentary after what is, I don't know, probably a year and a half, maybe a year and a half-ish running RepCo. It's very apparent that setting these DNS records, both for white labeling the platform from the agency perspective, as well as setting the DNS records on the business level where you can send emails for each of your businesses from a white labeled email domain. Both of these seem to be quite a painful task for agencies and business owners alike. So if you haven't tried to set DNS records for a bit, I do recommend trying to use this UI. It does make it a bit more clear as to how many records are needing to be populated and what their values are. But again, if anybody has any issues with this, please just reach out to us on customer support. We have helped configure a lot of records.
Cool. Nate, you had a point here to go through the notification center.
Yeah, I think it's just something that since the last time we did a webinar has been updated and collated in a single screen here.
Yeah, so this is it's not under the business, it's actually just under this drop down here, notifications. And this is where individual users can set whether they want to be notified of all feedback or negative feedback instantly. The reason this is even a checkbox is in the future there might be more options here if you want like a weekly summary. As of right now, if you want to be notified, it is instantly. And then the review widget I wanted to run through. Actually, before that, Nate, you'd also put on here, go through the campaign stat card.
Yeah, so just a small note, actually, you can just stop right there,
Yeah.
Jacob. So we have started bubbling up statistics for your campaign. In this case, we're looking at an unfortunately unpopulated demo campaign, but that top left card there is now reporting on how many messages have been sent, how many have been bounced, and if anybody has registered your messages as spam. One thing to note is that we have been seeing a bit of deliverability issues, especially when it comes to SMS. And after digging into it, there are two reasons that over 90% of messages that don't get delivered get blocked. And one of those reasons is due to the carriers blocking the messages. And the answer to that is that you must sign up for the campaign registry, do the Trust Hub integration for each of your businesses, and that'll cut down on about 60 to 70% of your blockages. The rest of that is going to be due to people putting in non-mobile numbers into campaigns. So we allow you to get contact details into your RepCo campaigns through manually adding them, through integrating Zapier and connecting anything like a CRM, or even through having your customers add themselves in a form. One thing that you want to do there is ensure that the numbers that you're collecting and that you're getting into these campaigns can receive an SMS. So obviously, if somebody gives you a home line and you text them to leave a review, well, that text's not going to get there. So if you need to update messaging anywhere you have messaging as you gather your feedback, whether it's on your feedback page or on a piece of paper that your clients are handing to their customers to leave a review, make sure that you're giving a little bit of messaging around them having an SMS enabled number that they're entering.
Good point. Then the review widget wanted to run through. It's had some updates. So it has originally, the first iteration of this was the floating toast version. It can pop up on the left or in the center, or so basically, sorry, go back to settings. So it can pop up on the left, center, right. You can choose which reviews you want to display here. So it can be filtered for only 5-star reviews or 4 stars and above. And you can sort as well. So if you want to show the newest reviews first, you can do that, or you can do it randomly. There's a fair bit of settings here. You can turn off different elements if you want, down to basically just having a name and stars. And on the next page in review sources, or in the next tab here, if this is at the business level, so we could choose, maybe we only want to display for one location, or all the locations of the business could be combined into here, and also by platform. So maybe we want to display just Google reviews, but Google reviews for both locations, or just Google reviews for one location. So basically, there's all your options there. And then under appearance, we've got like our standard light mode and dark mode, and then you can do customs. So one thing, like if you're in light mode and you start editing these things, it's just going to bump you over to custom anyway. So it's not going to break the default settings for light mode and dark mode. And then embed code here, this obviously goes on the website. Under settings here, as well as the floating toast, we have the embeddable div now as well. So the embeddable div, there's 3 options. It can be a carousel, masonry, or grid. So basically you can see examples of those by clicking the test view. Those would be side by side. These would be stacked masonry. These are all even heights and grid layout. And
when did we release that, Jacob?
When did we release that?
I missed those embeds.
I don't know, a few weeks ago. You know what I'm looking for though is where the location of this is set, but it's okay. Wonder if
so yeah, one thing to note is that we did pay attention to performance when developing this snippet, so it should load very quickly and not stress your website and hurt your core web vital scores. We did know from past experience with other software that having a JavaScript snippet is a potential recipe for disaster for your performance. So we are cognizant of that.
Yeah. Then something else I wanted to show, this is actually one of my favorite features that we've added that you might not have noticed, is in the message configuration. There's now an option to do after feedback received message chain. So the idea here is that maybe we send them, a message, please leave feedback, send them a follow-up a day later, leave feedback. If they leave feedback anywhere in this chain, it's gonna end this, it's gonna terminate this sequence. But just because they left feedback, they could come here, leave feedback, but not leave review. And we don't actually have a way of matching to their registered Google accounts whether or not they've left a review. But what a lot of my clients are doing is adding an after review message only for respondents with positive feedback, and saying, we could send that, maybe one day after they leave their review or their feedback, and say like, hey, contact name, thanks so much for your feedback. If you didn't already, would you please share your feedback publicly on a review platform, or whatever you want to say there. And then here, if we use the same link, this feedback page URL link, we store what stage the customer got to on our side. So because this is tied to that customer, if they click that link and they've already left feedback, then it's going to take them straight to the positive feedback page. If they left positive feedback, which they would have to get this. If you send this to all respondents, it would send them back to either the positive or negative feedback page, depending on how your filters were set up. So we found this last message is a nice. We've gotten increases in number of actual live reviews that get left from sending the post feedback follow up. Then I think that's almost it. There was one other thing here, Nate, right? There's reports. Not sure if we went through reports on the last one, but we'll just quickly look at. So report templates. Basically, you create a name for the template, decide how often you want it to run. So most people run them monthly. Start date, maybe we want to run it on the 1st of the month, so we could start it on September 1st. Then you choose which locations you want the report for. So again, if a business wants like an aggregate report for all of its locations, we can do that, and you could set up a separate report for individual locations, and then you can add which users you want to be notified. It actually doesn't have to be users. It can be any email address that you want to get notifications. You can add in here. And then they'll get the reports. This is where these are the different areas of the reports. So reviews generated, review stats, reviews by site, rating breakdown, rating feedback. So if there's any of these things that you don't want to report on, you can turn them off. Or if you want to change the priority, you can actually drag and drop these and reorder the sequence of the reports. And then this is the message that the user would get. So if it's, if you're going, if you're white labeling, you could say, hi, here's the feedback report from agency.feedback software .com. And then this will attach the report. So whatever you want to do there. Then once you create the template, let's do both locations here. Create template. Oops, let's do let's put me in there.
And then I think you have to put a title too, Jacob.
Yeah, you'd think I'd be better at this, eh?
Yep.
So demo report. There we go. And then you can also run these. So now we've created the report template, exists here. It's not going to run until September 1st, but if I need an ad hoc report, I can just say generate now, and it'll run this report. And then that'll go into this tab of reports, where you can see the most recent report under the templates here as well. So if we take a look at that as a PDF, basically it's not super pretty because they haven't gotten any reviews over the last 30 days. It's just a test account, but this would show a graph of the number of reviews, what platform they were left on, by location broken out, and then rating scores. So that can all come as a PDF, or you can get a live link to it as well. So that's about it for new features since the last one. Is there anything else you wanted to go over, Nate?
Beautiful. No, I think that was nice and snappy. Just a couple of things to touch on here. Also, as we mentioned at the beginning, not sure how many of you watching this, both live and the recording, are current customers, but one of the core tenets of RepCo is that we are agency focused. The entire thing is built from day one to be white labeled, both at the agency level. So if you have your marketing company, the entire thing can be under your subdomain. All of the emails will come from a subdomain that you'll create. The white label capabilities also cascade all the way down where each customer that you load into the platform can be sending emails from a white labeled subdomain from themselves, and also from a private phone number that you can register if you're in North America with Trust Hub, or you can get private numbers and custom phone number alphanumeric codes for other geos. In terms of future functionality and development things, I would say the next thing out of the gate is going to be the ability to respond natively to reviews from both Facebook as well as Google My Business or Google Business Profile. And then I was going to say the review widget would probably have some updates in the future, but it looks like we already got those out. We are definitely kind of always looking for features and functionality that either other platforms have that users like, or that we think would be a good idea. I think now at this point in time, RepCo is a lot more mature than it was last year in terms of feature coverage. It pretty much is powering the review generation campaigns for all of our clients at our agency. Jacob, I know you're using it pretty heavily. So I think it's a really reasonable price product. If you're not using a software platform that has a Trust Hub integration, then that is going to be a problem for you sooner than later. I do recommend either asking them when they're planning on integrating that, or maybe just coming and testing us out. Other than that, unless you have anything, Jacob, I think we can probably have this as a quick webinar today. And maybe if anybody has any questions in the audience, feel free to pop in. Otherwise, we'll be around. You can get a hold of us pretty much anytime, team@rep.co, or through that customer live chat widget in the bottom right. If you're a local Viking or local brand manager customer, you probably already know how to get a hold of us through those support channels, but we're all just kind of one group here. So I enjoyed the afternoon. Any last notes from you, Jacob?
No, I was just gonna actually, my screen's still here. I was just gonna show, like, if you're not in the US, or if you're in the US and after you've just verified with the campaign registry, this is what it looks like. There's just a by number button here. Click on it, add phone number, and you just find something from your area code, and there we go. So that's
just a last question here coming in from Andy. No worries on being late, Andy. We did record this, so we will be sending out the recording. Andy's asking, does the platform offer widgets to display reviews on a website? We do indeed have website review widgets, and there are 3 or 4 different formats that you can use, everything from a floating toast widget to several different embeddables that go directly in the website. So yep, it is very configurable. You can choose which businesses you're having included, which reviews, what quality of reviews, or what type of rating of reviews. So yeah, I think everything you could possibly want with a review widget, we pretty much have.
Any other questions?
Nope. All right, everybody. We will send out this recording in case you want to rewatch it. Other than that, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.